Hello Ghosties! Today we are going to take a dive into how to make game onboarding accessible to people with different skill sets. If you don't know, I am a UX designer who loves to make inclusive design. Let's get into it. We've all played games probably where there isn't enough of an explanation to get you started, or on the complete opposite end, the game tries to tell you everything you might possibly need to know within the first 5 minutes of you starting. I don't know about you, but I instantly forget everything when a game starts throwing information at me too quickly, and it can also be frustrating when you don't get enough right away. This was something I recently experienced playing Deathloop, where they try to teach you how to play in a tutorial setting for a couple, rounds of the game, but they will tell you multiple tools and the controls to how to manipulate different tools in one long and I'll put in an example. It's one long card, and every orange point is something important that you need to know about what you can do with that ability. And I am not going to remember all of those things very long, and I actually ended up not playing Deathloop for about a week and then trying to jump back in. And this particular screen, I forgot a lot of what was on there, and I needed it to play in later days of the game, right? If you've played it, you know what I'm saying. But I couldn't remember it. I completely forgot. And so that was very unfortunate, and I had to do some Googling, which isn't a big deal, right? But great game design makes it so you understand what you need to know when you first jump into the game, and then they slowly ramp you up as you need more abilities and you need more skills to complete the game, right? And that also helps connect with memorability and the ease of playing. And so that's what this video is about, is how to make an accessible and inclusive onboarding experience for game design. And I do want to say that I do love Deathloop. It's a really fun game. I'm still playing it. That is just a frustration that I have experienced. And so I am a Fortnite girl, and I very rarely venture into the Apex world, but there was recently a push on the mobile version, and I thought it would be interesting to check it out. I actually really enjoyed going through that initial tutorial onboarding portion. Sometimes that can be really boring and you just want to rush through it, but I really appreciated how everything was laid out, and I really got to see how complex and intricate it can be and how you really have to know what you're doing to play. And so I'm just going to walk through the things that I thought made the Apex Legends onboarding experience chef's kiss. So it starts out by allowing you to choose your heads-up display. I have never seen anything like this, and I'm a huge fan. This takes a little extra work to test and compare the HUDs for the designers, the people who are making this game UI. It is extra work, but it does allow your gamers to have a lot of freedom and to customize the game. And so I thought this was an amazing inclusion for this game. And so once you get past, selecting your display, the game immediately brings you to a training ground / tutorial walkthrough to help gamers get started. This tutorial was really methodical and taught each skill needed to play and each control that triggers everything in a really systematic approach. As I went through the tutorial, each button was displayed in order to build upon each skill and ease into the complexity of the game. So it started out just with the moving toggle on the left, and then they taught you how to slide, how to jump, how to run, how to shoot. And as they did that, all of these additional buttons on the right got added, so you could really just focus on identifying that button that you would need for the skill. And this is what I was saying earlier, when you really want to expose skills and buttons as you need them and to build on the complexity, because it helps you remember and it gives you time to connect, what you just saw to actually being able to apply it within the tutorial. And the last noteworthy mention of Apex's mobile onboarding is the tutorial cards. I love these because it's not only using text, but is including the actual button control as well. This is great to start building mental connections. Some people learn through reading, some people, they love symbols and visuals, and so it's really allowing people across kind of the spectrum of how you might put two and two together to be able to build these mental connections. And these cards also stay on the screen until you're ready to confirm and move on to the next step, which I think is always helpful to give people the time to process things in their own way. So Apex, the mobile version at least, really kills it when onboarding their gamers and creating an accessible and inclusive onboarding for people who are at all different game skill sets, right? I would consider myself more of a casual gamer. I do play a lot of games and I dabble in different genres, but by no means am I like a hardcore gamer. So this is amazing when you see games take into account that there are a wide variety of people who are playing, not just people who are dedicated to that one fandom of game. But it also helps people who are familiar, whether that's starting a new game in a series or transitioning from one console, desktop, to mobile, being able to transition as, how you're going to play on your desktop is different than how you're going to play on your mobile, and it's different than how you're going to play on Xbox. And so you still should take into account that someone might have had an Xbox and now they have a PlayStation, or maybe they're playing on PlayStation, but now they're on desktop, and they could still be a huge fan of that game, but now they're playing on a different console and they need those tutorials to make that smooth transition. So let me know in the comments down below, what are other games that have fantastic onboarding sequences and, you really feel like you mastered the game really quickly. Tell me down below in the comment. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more tech, game content, all wrapped into design. Thank you, and see you next week.